Hey there, do you ever edit your photos in Lightroom and you get to the end of the process and you think, these just don't look how I want them to? Well, you are in the right place because today I'm sharing 5 of my favorite Lightroom tips, tricks, hacks that I have learned and used over my last 15 years of being a professional wedding photographer. A lot of these are small settings and little adjustments that most people don't even know exist. But once you learn them, you'll see the huge impact that they have on your images and you'll start to wonder how you ever edited without them. Now, some of these you may be using, but I guarantee you at least one of them is something you've never heard of or have never tried before. Let's first start by one profile adjustment. So when I talk about a profile adjustment, for me, I did a recent video talking about how I really am impacted by the way an image looks off the bat. So right now, this image doesn't look, it looks like it's already been attempted at an edit. Like it looks like the profile that's automatically set right here to camera standard, it's trying to give me a final look. It's trying to do some work for me. And I actually prefer, which I know some people don't. Like I talk about in the KJ Consistency course, which is my editing course, I like to manually do the work myself to start. Like I don't like to start with this like preset and then work from there. I did create the preset process, which you will see over here. But the reason why it's a 4-step process is because just having a one-click wonder is not going to give you the control that you need in order to edit an image. So I actually prefer, instead of having this start with some automatic contrast from this profile, I would rather start with basic. Like let's just do Adobe Standard and it looks flat. And the reason why you might think, oh, Katelyn, that's awful. Why would you start like that? It's because I know where I'm going and I know how to get there because I edit manually so well. So I don't want any of these other options because they're trying to get me closer to a certain look that I just don't love. So I would rather, instead of any of these, just to do Adobe Standard because it gets me at a clean slate. The next thing you want to make sure, which is mine is automatically applied on import. You're going to scroll all the way down to lens corrections. I undid this so that I could show you the difference, but enabling profile corrections is just automatically something you should do in general. It just cleans up the edges of your image and gets rid of the dark edges that just are a natural part of shooting through a lens. So I want to set the stage to be able to have a really clean slate. I want to edit from like this pure place. And so editing with dark edges is just going to mess up my ability to see truly what I want for pop in an image. So I need to brighten up the edges by having that selected. And so it's just an automatic thing that I have turned on upon import. Obviously, we want to lock our ratios and do a quick little crop here. And now let's move towards some other things that I love to use in Lightroom when I am manually editing and when I'm using the preset process. So now we're moving on to talking about the tonal curve. Now, I am going to brighten this. I'm using the basic tab for this, but this is not one of the tips. I'm just showing you a little quick manual edit. In the tonal curve is something that a lot of people do not pay attention to. There are some photography educators that tell you that like, this is all you need. Maybe it is, but there's so much available in the tonal curve. So for me, like I teach in the KJ Consistency course, I have a pattern, and the pattern is what gives me my style over and over and over again. If you do not have a pattern in your editing, you desperately need that course so that you have a look and a defined style that looks like you and your brand, so you are recognizable even without a logo on it. People can just tell, oh, that's a KJ image. Okay, so your tonal curve is so powerful and it's a tool that's going to allow you to get a lot of different adjustments out of the highlights and shadows and depth of your image that you cannot get here just in the basic tab. Okay, so tonal curves, number 3. Number 4, let's talk about color grading. Now, color grading is amazing because it changes the tone of just the highlights or the shadows. That is what happens in step 3 of the KJ preset process. So I could put golden warm with cooler greens on here, cool it down so it looks nice and warm. All right, so that's I like the tones there. But if you don't want to do it this way, strip that away, see how it got a little bit more blue? The way that you achieve that is by using HSL sliders. So that would adjust some things like some of your greens and some of those tones. But what I recommend is learning how to use color grading. If you've never used color grading, it's amazing, especially for skin tones. So in this situation, it's going to affect a lot because there's a lot of bright areas, there's a lot of bright tones, but we also have a lot of blue-gray tones here. So let's go over here and do, let's say 40. with saturation of like 15. All right, so we're getting that warmth back in. Now watch if I do a saturation of 45. Whoa, super milky. Don't want that. Doesn't look like my style, but 15 is just enough. So you can do it this way, or you can get rid of that, and you can use the KJ preset process and have a slider of getting the warmth that you want. I just want it right about here. I think that looks like me. Okay, so last but not least, number 5. It's gonna be a little harder to see in this image because there's not as many greens. But if you look at this magnolia tree, scroll down to calibration with green primary. This is something that controls the hues of the greens and the yellows. So you can see how it takes some of the hues. It's a great adjustment. Sometimes when I have images where I'm like, something's wrong with the greens, I just don't know. Sometimes I'll do just a slight green primary adjustment, and it's exactly what I needed to get the look that I want without doing anything crazy. And it's just it's hidden down here at the very end of the basic or the develop module. It's just hidden, and a lot of people don't take advantage of that. All right, so there you have it. I hope you learned something. If you have something you could teach me, you can throw it in the comments. If you want to share the tip that you're going to use first, I love hearing feedback from you guys. Also, just check the links below. We have courses, we have resources, we have templates, we have free classes. We literally have something for everybody. So like and subscribe so you don't miss anything from us in the future, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.